terms of what his performances look like, but I do think he's been performing pretty solidly that teams do have to focus him. And I want to talk about pick ban right now as we're getting into it, is FlyQuest and EnVy, two of the most interesting teams to watch in terms of pick ban, because I never know what's going to be coming out here. EnVy sometimes draft the tankless composition with Seraph in the top lane, sometimes they over-index, sometimes they look like one of the best meta teams, and then FlyQuest, I don't even know what they're going to draft every meta. Doesn't matter. 7-14 is another thing where maybe they can get an advantage, or maybe they're just going to hamstring themselves and overthink it again.
Seeing that they do pick all that aggression, try to get ahead of the game early. We kind of saw the same thing just between TSM last game as they played Echo Fox. Continuing to put something scaling on the top side allowed those picks.
Oh, this is crazy.
First bans end. Caitlyn gets through with the Jhin being banned out for Turtle.
But Maokai. So they leave up Caitlyn and Maokai banning the Thresh away from Hakuo. Caitlyn first pick for Apollo. I expect the Maokai here for FlyQuest. Will they take Mao and Cho?
It's locked in. Can still be.
Because I think that picking both Maokai and Cho, you don't know which one's top, which one's going in the jungle, and that's actually super interesting that they're not picking it up there and they're taking the Kalista instead. Because there is no kind of rush to take Kalista right now because of the fact that you already see the enemy AD carry, but they're thinking Team EnVy might pick their mid laner here and you'll have to pick it in your third slot before it gets banned out.
What will be the choice? That would be an interesting play. We haven't seen much more than who he's Aurelion Sol, but I feel like it would switch still. The Karma gets locked in here for EnVy, actually. Let's see where that can go. Obviously, looking at a support, but they could decide to flex it.
Yeah, Hakuo's always kind of struck me as that lane-dominant support, right? He loves playing Karma with Ignite or Thunderlord. Right. And even when he would play Rakan, it was Thunderlord's Rakan. So trying to get whatever advantage you can there. And there's the Janna for Lemonation, who already got a player of the game on it yesterday, I believe.
Yep, shield on shield. That was actually a very long game, but towards the end, he was keeping Moon alive on this Cho'Gath. That's actually what really helped them to scale into a position where they could walk over the opposing team. We'll try to put that together here one more time. With the Kalista, they have a bit of objective control, but I don't know about that lately. We've seen some of these Rens and Smite.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 seconds left here. The ban phase 2 begins, and EnVy has their first second phase ban now.
I can't believe Maokai actually has not been picked or banned so far. That's actually...
Believe it, sister!
I mean, that's shocking to me that it's made it to this second phase and nobody has taken it. They've figured the Gragas is a better jungler right now for EnVy. That FlyQuest with the Cho'Gath either going top or in the jungle is good for them. But I actually think that Cho'Gath, I've talked about this before, where he's a better disengaged champion than most other champions right now in the meta. You try to walk through him, the Vorpal spikes, the new reworked E is 3 slows for 1.5 seconds each, and it's a wall of slow. And then he has a silence, then he has another slow. So getting past a Cho'Gath is practically impossible, and you're gonna get kited around by the Kalista. So you have to go through the Cho'Gath first in order to reach them, whereas Maokai kind of does a little bit of the same thing in terms of locking people down, but has more engage power. So Cho'Gath, more of a frontline that kind of makes sure you can't dive past him instead of engaging himself.
It's like a nice big wall.
Yeah.
While Turtle looking to lock in that Corki for high, tried and true lately for him. He actually was one of the ones to start bringing it out after they had it back and forth in scrims.
Actually interesting, I just got told in my ear that neither of these teams have actually played Maokai so far this week, so it looks like the priority on that champion is really low for both of these guys.
There's a few as well. When I was casting Immortals with Jat, they actually banned out the Cho and the Maokai at some points when they were on the blue side. So I think a lot of these teams hasn't put them in their compositions to synergize as of late. I think it'd be a good idea, though. Syndra gets locked in here for the side of EnVy. Niski bringing some power to the mid lane. He looks pretty happy about that matchup.
He looks very happy about that matchup because the Cassiopeia and the Taliyah being banned away. The Syndra is a champion that does not make it past the first round of bans frequently at all. LeBlanc and Syndra kind of get banned away in those first rounds. He's trying to make sure that, look at that, 65% ban rate right now for the Syndra. And there's the Renekton for Seraph in the top lane, who's had those kind of wishy-washy performances, right? Seraph is still all over the place, and I think Balls as well, kind of those inconsistent top laners, but they both are quite strong in terms of they pull the jungler up to the top lane very frequently.
See how they swap it. Moon on Corki in the jungle. I like it. Oh. Keep going.
Twitch chat's invaded Rib's brain. Help!
40 seconds left on the clock. Remember, they can switch up to 20 seconds left. Team EnVy 7-6, making some waves here this split, keeping themselves up towards that playoff spot. FlyQuest 4-9, looking to creep up to a playoff spot, but that's going to include a lot of wins in their near future.
Yeah, right now EnVy are in 6th, kind of tied for 5th, pending the match result here. If they actually win this one, then they go up and they start tying near the top of the standings, but they get out of that right in playoff spot, whereas FlyQuest are tied for 7th, 8th, 9th right now. So if they win this, they're 2 matches back from a playoff spot and would be tied then with EnVy if they were 2-0 next week. And like we talked about, EnVy have a very tough schedule. A lot of those top teams. EnVy's remaining schedule are 4 teams that are looking at playoff spots right now. None of the teams in the bottom half.
Violet, I think Card make their way to the back. Hashtag EnVyWin. Hashtag FlyWin. See what the players have for each other as we get on to the Rift for our second game of the day.
Yeah, you're pulling the marathon.
I love it. Let's go.
Every time somebody pulls a marathon, they start losing it around game 4 or 5.
I'm ready.
You're in 4 right now. I'm gonna monitor this.
Just keep the tinfoil hat on. We'll be good. We're about to be on to the Rift. We will actually see what these guys have prepared for each other. They come out firing, or they're going to come out nice and slow. We've seen kind of the slow play today already in our first game between TSM and Echo Fox. They took a while to get going. Enjoyed that extended laning phase. I think we might get the same thing here. Moon's going to look to build up those stacks, get himself nice and big in this early part of the game.
So I want to play a little game here.
Oh,
it's something that's
on game?
It's something that I do in my head every single game during Champion Select and right afterwards is evaluate winning lanes. Who wins what lane here? Because as a jungler, you always want to go, let's play to this quadrant where I have a winning lane in maybe mid and top, or maybe I have a winning top and bot. So you have to want to play around your winning lanes. So taking a moment to figure out who wins what matchup, where you can play early. I would say that the Renekton would shove in the Jarvan. That's technically a winning lane. Mid lane is actually kind of a mixture. It's an interesting one because the Corki gets to do more harassment to the Syndra. The Syndra gets to wave clear a little bit better, so it's kind of a wash depending on who gets more pressure, but I would say that, you know, it's really coming down to a skill matchup here. Yep. Whereas bottom lane, EnVy win bottom lane in terms of pressure. They have Ignite. They have the push advantage here. Even though it's a Kalista with a Janna, double range support, yeah, we're back in this meta. I do feel like EnVy win their side lanes. Yep. So when you win your side lanes like this, as a jungler, play to your mid lane early with control wards, and Lyra can then go to any side of the jungle. So I feel like Lyra has a much more advantageous position than Moon right now, because most of Moon's lanes are going to be playing under their turrets, getting shoved in. So it allows the Cho'Gath to maybe get some ganks. Yep. So doesn't mean that you lose kind of just automatically as a jungler. Thanks for the leash, Hakuho, I guess is what's going on. But yeah, it doesn't mean you automatically like don't have much in terms of your routes that you can go for. Man, he's just helping out a bunch.
What a good dude. Oh, well, bromance between Hakuo and Moon for a second. He gets his blue buff and makes his way over. Looks like he's going to skip. No, he keeps going. All right. Looks like he's going to skip and go. But he was just dragging him over towards mid lane so he can make a fast run. Back to this bot lane we were talking about a bit. That Jhin did get banned out. Yeah. I'd be much less inclined to face a Jhin Janna than I would a Kalista Janna with that grenade and the Storm Shield. So the last shot Storm Shield.
Always kind of a funny story, or at least a stat I like to look at, is I always go to Wild Turtle's kind of career statistics for his champions. And I look at the win rates across his champions. His Lucian is 66%. His Ashe is 69%. His Sivir is 78%. And then his Ezreal, Tristana are above 70%. His Kalista is above 70%. His Caitlyn's 89%. His Jhin, 37% win rate in his career. So I actually feel like Wild Turtle's Jhin is not that powerful from a career standpoint in terms of win. Of course, that's results-based analysis. For sure. But compared to all of his other champions that are above 60% win rate, it's actually pretty incredible that, you know, he's pulling bans on this champion. But he has been performing well lately. That's the big thing, is he almost won some games by himself against Immortals. Before that, Wild Turtle was picking up, I believe, 3 to 4 player of the games just a few weeks ago. And he's really been keeping FlyQuest in these games. And remember, one of the big acquisitions for FlyQuest in the offseason was Wild Turtle coming back to the team alongside Moon, sorry, High and Lemonation. Just go through the entire team before I get the right 2 members.
Celebrate it.
High and Lemonation back on their Quantic days. And it hadn't really slotted in completely. but you were kind of looking at, oh, now they have a big carry in the bottom lane who will be aggressive with them.
I think that combination is funny as well, with Elimination having so many AD carries. It's like Wild Turtle being one of the first of those that were able to synergize with. Head back down towards the bot lane and keep things safe. That lane is actually 18 to 23 as we expect it to go in favor of EnVy so far, but they're holding strong on the side of FlyQuest.
And top lane, Seraph actually is playing defensive. When I talk about winning lanes, you have the power to shove in, but what pro players will do is say, I know I'm winning this lane, and this is a winning lane for me, but I'm actually not going to shove it out because the way that Lyra path. Lyra's bottom side of the jungle, zero reason for Seraph to push balls into his turret. Because if he does, then he's just in a ganking position. And now that he sees, watch Seraph, as soon as he sees that Moon is on the bottom side, he's going to start shoving the wave out and clearing it. And possibly setting up a gank for Lyra on the top side. It's just the flow of how you play these matchups. Just play a little scared, keep it slightly frozen. Balls can't push it all the way to the turret. Now Seraph's going to start pushing it out.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm normal farming, don't worry. There's the slice, the dice, the cull.
Make it look the same. Now Lyra's going to come top, and it's been the plot, it's been the setup. Here comes the stun from Seraph.
Stacked up Ruthless Predator as well, gets it right after the flag and drag. And there might be enough damage here. Slice and dice still looking to connect for Seraph, but he was waiting on that. So pressure for Flash on balls in the top lane.
Actually interesting, because that was a very predictive cue from Lyra there. And Balls just played it safe, played it slow. And the fact that Seraph got the stun off and the flag and drag happened simultaneously kind of made it that Lyra didn't really get exactly what he wanted there.
TP back.
Yeah, got the flash and the TP though, so yeah.
See if he remembers the play.
Here comes Cho'Gath, Cho'Gath flanking.
Oh, EnVy is committing to this one as well. They say, all right, we have to figure out how we're getting out of this. Apollo's going to be able to flash right over if he needs to. Gets the net off, actually, and they're able to turn this one around. Flash forward, Hakuo gets the resolve and the lockdown onto Moon, but there's too many minions as they slalom to safety on the side of FlyQuest. Great turnaround from EnVy.
Yeah, it looked like there was just too much damage onto Wild Turtle there, who blew his heal early.
Yeah.
And Moon was trying to look for an auto attack onto Hakuo, changed his mind, and then went for Apollo, changed his mind, didn't get the silence off in time, and he got away. So Moon not able to really assist there, and he's actually just going to hold the wave as he gets the back. And so now Moon will actually lose his Raptors for this and be about the same experience as Lyra, but it does put him a bit behind in terms of his jungle tempo. Also means he'll get spotted the next time he's on the top side of the map due to the wards.
There are the pings going down. You can see Niski. He says, I'm going to give you a little help. Make sure there's no...
This might be a dive because there's no flash on Balls or TP. If you kill the top laner in this situation, then...
Going to be very close to losing that minion
advantage.
wave. They're going to be fighting under turret no matter what on this. So they want to go now. Insta-kill, insta-6 as Niski left lane after hitting that.
Yep, and that means he's going to lose that wave. They're going to shove it into turret. He'll lose another wave. And it's not a cannon minion one, so he will lose all of this. This is going to put Balls pretty far behind in terms of pressure and also just items in general.
Niski picking up most of that CS towards the top side, so he doesn't lose too much of the turret here as High pushes it in. And Moon doing the same thing. Moon was in the bot. Lyra grabbed his Raptors. He says, oh, I'll give you the same medicine. I saw you top side. You'll see this fight one more time.
Yep. Seraph, after the first push, just got to slow push it back in. Then they just use only Ghost is the summoner spell that's used there by Niski to make that happen. So they have repeat ganks with Body Slam Flash. They have a repeat gank with the Flash from Seraph. So they have a lot of options here.
Turtle taking quite a bit of damage as he steps up to look to get a rend off when he stacked up that minion along with Apollo. We do get a bit of extra distance, but he still wasn't in range with that rend explosion. And good clear there by Apollo. 63 to 49 in that lane, so he is starting to separate the CS just a little bit.
Can we talk about, you know, the A-tier 80 carry Apollo for a second? Because, I mean, he has actually been pretty good. I actually got to talk to him one time in the makeup room. I was like, how's it feel to be, you know, in the A-tier? He's like, it feels good, man.
Good, man.
Feels good, man. And then he actually said, I don't think I'm A-tier. He actually feels like he has a lot he can improve on. We'll see if Lyra... Oh, wow.
Well, Apollo
all right.
Standing true
Wait,
here.
What? You're drunk.
What?
Lyra.
Okay. A little hesitation. I think they might have wanted to get Apollo another one on that, or somebody another one on that, but Lyra kind of boxed his auto attack, holds back on that, and now they're able to get the turret. So pressure on the lane. and we will have to get this, maybe a replay on that.
Yeah, I would love a replay on that. Niski, though, gonna fight high.
Oh, very close.
Doesn't
Throws back
chase.
the ultimate.
High doesn't chase him. Pretty interesting choice there. Now, Ball's behind, like I said. Gonna get dueled out a little bit there as he tries to clear a ward. Holds his ground, and we'll see this one more time. Ugh. Wild Turtle went forward. He was expecting him to go back there. And then the Q onto elimination. Not that flash afterwards. It's just, that play just all around.
You're not even playing this game.
Welcome to EnVy versus FlyQuest, game 1.
Well,
welcome to your 4th game of the day as well, Riv.
Might lose it, might lose it. 2K gold lead here for EnVy. Throughout all of this, that turret means they can start pressuring the rest of the map, getting themselves into a position to use the advantage of those summoners down on the side of FlyQuest as Turtle and Lemon Nation just try to farm up and keep this lane pushed up.
Yeah, they're just trying to kind of do damage control here because the matchup of Caitlyn Karma is just that nightmare that no bottom lane really wants to play against. And a lot of, I know AD carriers were very happy when it moved away from Karma, Zyra, all these supports that were taking care of the lane and being the big aggressors in it. They really liked, you know, having somebody babysit them. But Hakuo, not so much about that babysitter life.
Nice. FlyQuest just scooting in to get themselves the first Drake of the game. That definitely helped Moon stay out on the Rift. Being very nice for his regeneration as well.
Yeah, the fact that Cho'Gath is passive, you know, helps him stay up in terms of mana and health in the jungle the whole time. Hold on, though. He's going to go fighting. Niski's trying to play to this side just in case.
Got to watch out for package. Get cut off really quick here.
Yeah, Lyra's actually been making some awkward moves this entire game. The top lane where he tried to predict. I feel like Lyra, what he's doing is he's... I don't know.
Oh, they separate. Niski's ultimate is up. They could choose to throw that onto High if they wanted to. There's one hit, just missing. Niski was trying to put more spheres on the ground to get the extra damage.
Trying to return damage.
That's going to be enough. And the last hit from Seraph. Ball's just leaving lane, thinking maybe that fight would have fizzled out. The lane's resetting. I feel like he should have been in that fight.
Yeah. He was trying to just get all the CS that was
so he was
turret.
Instantly pushed up during that. Unfortunate for FlyQuest to not be able to.
And that's why winning lanes as a jungler is so important to like think about. Like when we were playing that game at the beginning of the game, because that's where you get to play. If Niski's winning mid lane and shoving it in, and when I say winning, it just means you can push the guy under the turret faster than they can clear the minions or push back. You get to roam. So he gets to roam. If Jarvan roams here, Jarvan gets to the fight, but has to get something back, or else he loses 300 gold to the turret. And so right here, Lyra, throws out the cask, but then Seraph stuns High. High already used the Valkyrie, but the cleanse was used to get out of the previous stun, and it does reduce the cooldown of subsequent stun. So he does get out of the Renekton W a little bit faster than you would expect, but still goes down.
It's pretty big wave balls that he cleared there. It actually keeps him even.
Well, he's behind, right? He got killed when his TP was down, so he's in that. He's in that. I can't help you. Are you kidding me? I have to farm mentality.
I feel like I hear that a lot in my games.
What do you want me to do? Lose all these minions? You're crazy.
I'm not coming to your lane anymore.
Yeah, I mean that's what I say as a jungler.
2K now. He's going to back. Get some nice items for himself. Also, Black Cleaver right up on his inventory. And Lyra and the team trying to continue this early game lead. Known for their early game leads, but extending that into the mid game. That's where they need to right the ship a little bit. Here they're already doing very good at it. They're getting their wards forward and kind of doing it in numbers. So they can continue to aggress, flash, and ghost down for High. Why not rinse and repeat on that gank?
Yeah. I'm trying to get something in mid, making sure that they're taking control of mid and top side, so they'll have control of this area and put pressure on the top side. Because now they're playing for top turret or mid if they can get High here.
Scatter, no, it's just the ultimate. High's able to get himself the safety on this. That Hex Drinker early buy is huge for him right now.
Yeah, pretty much a necessity against Syndra as Corki. Buy that early on, make sure that you don't get burst down in a single R. It's kind of the damage control.
Waiting for what the pressure will be next. Wild Turtle gets the farm out on the top side. This is great for him. Almost that their turret went down so they could get out of that laning phase, stop being poked out. He's probably more than happy to keep farming on the top. He will meet up with Apollo shortly, though. Supports are on the roam. The catch potential is definitely there from Lemon Nation and the rest of FlyQuest. Even if you are going to be able to run fast, it won't save you from this team. They have a lot of catch potential, and Seraph is going to realize that as Lyra can't help too much. They back off in mid.
Yep, Hakuo just kind of roaming around and gets TP'd on by Balls there, and That also gets the TP out of Seraph, so he won't be able to shove the bottom wave out and kind of get something back. They're going to get the Rift Herald here and try to return at least a turret in the future.
Great ward so far.
I actually feel like you want the fight more than you want the Rift Herald. I think you want to bait EnVy in here and then collapse and actually go for a fight. 4v5. Like, I feel like it's not going to get much better than this.
EnVy has full
Go for the fight.
eyes on the team. Haku is the only one that FlyQuest doesn't see, but that one really doesn't matter at this point. The shields could be a big play, though, if this goes for an extended fight. Rift Herald is going to be grabbed up. That goes over to Moon. It seems like they might be able to just waltz out of this one.
Yeah.
Nice rupture on the exit.
Yeah, because of the fact that the Elimination ultimate from Wild Turtle, the Fates Call in, was really only on Apollo, who had already started moving back into Janna. There's not really a hard engage there, so if they're looking for a pick, they're looking to fish for something with like a Cho'Gath Q. If none of those hit, then you just back off. Make sure you just get the Rift Herald like they did. But that means that Moon gets to back a little bit faster than expected. He gets to cut 4 seconds off his back, so he gets to get here a little bit faster. And we'll see if that makes the difference.
Party on the top side in some capacity. Who's going to start it? Definitely in the Bramble Pit. My favorite spot, and it's going to be Balls with the Cataclysm onto 1. Seraph actually wasn't caught in that. Lyra was, and he's going to go down one last shot coming in from high. Turtle looking to dance this one right down that corridor. And Moon's going to shove him out of the fight before they can re-engage. Another kill coming in for EnVy, or I'm sorry, FlyQuest, as EnVy starts to falter.
See, that's the kind of laner High is. High says, there's a minion wave, my team's fighting, I gotta back them up. You made the right call. Lets those minions die to the turret.
Yeah.
Doesn't do what Balls had done, but it just shows the difference in terms of like how much you're integral to the team. If something's not happening without High, then it's not happening. High's got to be involved.
Very good point. We'll see it here again.
This is actually interesting because Moon wants to nom on the red buff, but I believe he actually hits Lyra with it, kills the red buff anyway. But the fact that he had accidentally hit Lyra there makes the difference because the true damage on the Cho'Gath, or on from the Cho'Gath onto the Gragas, allows the Gragas to die.
This allows him to dead.
This kills the Gragas.
It's not too much of a lead all around now. We know of Apollos, but Turtle still with the protection can be very, very powerful on this Ballista and also serves a different purpose with those objectives. And just map control as Ocean Drake alive once again. FlyQuest to get this could just hang out all day and continue High, able to pressure with missiles. And the rest of the team just regenning as they mill about the map.
Yeah, Wild Turtle kind of dealing with a bottom lane wave right now. Power Spike for Apollo. And kind of the rest of the team now as they're hitting some of those big items. So you have 2 magic penetration items from Niski, so he's in a really good spot with his Lost Chapter on top of that. And then you have the Black Cleaver and Infinity Edge. So I feel like FlyQuest aren't as good of a position as EnVy is right now in terms of items to take this fight. But if they play it correctly, they can still take it, and that's going to be the nom.
Kai says, I'm here. And it's also very hard for this point for EnVy to initiate that Monsoon. They don't know if it is or isn't up. Little be known, it was just a few seconds away, so the engage could have been huge. Rift Herald down towards the
bottom side. Because everybody's mid.
They're going to run it in.
Wild Turtle's been shoving this wave. There's no minion wave there. This is actually a perfect Rift Herald in terms of how much damage it'll get off of its charge here. And Wild Turtle's going to have to be responsible for the follow-up damage. But he does have Seraph, and he also has another person here coming down with Lyra shortly.
Ooh, got right back in through each turret shot. Gets a warmed up one.
Oh, they might dive here. We'll see.
They keep it just in time. A great rupture to start. The body slam after he gets out of that. Lyra gives himself a little bit of distance. This is going to be a dead Lyra. Rends it out, but it's actually the hit from Moon, not even the chomp in. He picks himself up another kill on this. 3-2 now as FlyQuest look to be hitting for a second-tier turret.
Yeah. Lyra actually used the body slam there to just get a little bit closer to the Rift Herald, and that's when he used it, and he didn't have it for 7 more seconds. So that actually prompted Moon to go ahead and use the Q. I'm pretty sure somebody was saying he has no body slam. Go ahead and just throw out the rupture. And Apollo might actually get dunked here.
Oh. Throws down the Cataclysm. Nicely done, but has to blow the flash. He knows the danger of being alone, though.
And you can see there, he scratches his head. Apollo, he loves to farm those side waves and get a level advantage over the enemy AD carry. But when a top laner is playing a bruiser, it's always a little bit difficult because you don't have that same vision coverage. But they just lost the bottom side of their map, and FlyQuest are actually back in this game and have a little bit of an advantage now in terms of the Drakes and the regen. Also, this Cho'Gath has room to grow. Like, the new Cho'Gath, let's take a moment to explain this. The Feast, you can get 6 stacks from eating minions or monsters, and he has 3 out of those 6 from minions and monsters, and he's at 6 right now. So he can get to 9 stacks just eating minions and monsters. The other things have to come from champion kills or killing epic monsters like the dragon that they've killed. So Moon, I mean, has a lot of room to grow. And the thing about the feast stacks now is it adds to your damage because it has a HP ratio on your feast. So the true damage goes even higher. And then there's a percent HP magic damage ratio that's based off your feast stacks on his E. So for every feast stack he has, it's going to be 0.5% more of his enemy's HP from the 4% it originally was. So it keeps going up and up and up. And so now he's actually doing a lot of people's damage, even if they're tanky right now. And when you think about the Renekton, who has no magic resistance and probably won't get some magic resistance for a while because it's the Bruiser build, he's looking at a really high damage Cho'Gath in these 1-on-1s or 2-on-2s.
True. Take a big bite out of Crime on that.
Apollo no flash from before.
Blade of the Rune King locks in Apollo. Looks like he could go down again. And trying to just get out of lane. He wasn't even really that scary of a spot, but FlyQuest had it on their plate that they're going to prioritize that target, and now Envy has to scramble to recoup. This leaves high open in mid, and Balls is still ready to push that with him. They may be able to grab a bit here.
You don't want to actually go for something too heavy here. You have to sack that turret because the risk of defending this means Baron in 8 seconds, you lose this turret, you lose your anybody else on top of Apollo. You're probably going to go for a Baron here, especially when they feel comfortable with the Cho'Gath.
Oh, Lyra close. Doesn't even need to help the team as they grab a kill. Balls goes down. A little bit of an answer here from Envy as they're not letting things go without a fight.
Yep, just making sure that they can trade back 1 for 1. Right now, it's kind of like Niski pulling his team alongside Seraph. These two guys, everybody else on the team is kind of just picking up farm where they can. They tried to make some moves early with Lyra. People are getting caught out, and that's what this game is a lot of catches. Hakuo got caught around this area. Apollo got caught twice on the top side due to rotations. And so Niski is kind of trying to do the catching himself. Whereas Fly, trying to set up, trying to make those picks happen with the long-range rupture.
Oh man, another Ocean Drake if FlyQuest get this.
They're
Basically,
swimming in Ocean Drakes.
Everybody's got a Warmogs or something as they run around the map. Feels good. I get that. I got that reference.
I get that.
I get that.
I understood that reference.
This does not look like a very healthy turret. Storm Shield or not, that means that's not damage for Turtle. But it does help stave off a little bit. The roam up for Moon's going to be late. What? Lemon.
Wait, he blocked it for Turtle.
Then shielded Turtle.
Yeah, just in case. Just in case, you know?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, percentage of it killing somebody then is 0. Whereas
you take your partner's hand, you say, it's okay, just stand still.
Yeah, you cover all your bases there. Yeah, Wild Turtle played that well.
That was the safest.
Leaping back when the cast came out, put him on the other side. Lyra has actually not had a great game at all so far. And is this the beginning of a slump? Because
no,
I mean, Lyra slumping, right? It's like, not really something that you say too much, but he does have a team that has been performing better and better in terms of individuals. But
is it a slump, or is he not marking people with javelins and pouncing on their faces?
Trying too hard? I don't know. But I definitely think like the tank meta is going to put a little bit of a burden on Lyra because he loves to carry, right? He's played the Elise particularly well, the Lee Sin, the Nidalee, right? For sure. Lyra's always kind of thrived in those metas, kind of like Mike Young, where you can carry your team. And so the dynamic of the patch on 7.14, you do have to shift a little bit of where you play to or how you play the jungle here. One of the reasons I've been able to climb in solo queue is because I don't have to play the carries anymore.
It's kind of, doesn't take away the all-star power, but there aren't as many avenues to create all-star power with a champion like Cho'Gath. Yeah, on the Nidalee, on the Lee Sin, when you're hopping around, you can do that. But like you said, it's a little tempered.
Exactly, and there's like different takes on it too, right? Because some teams are saying that you lose too much tempo if you play a tank jungler, whereas we're seeing teams play like Echo Fox is playing Lee Sin, we're seeing Elise, Contract's playing Kayn, we're seeing the carry junglers or the early game tempo junglers still have a place against tank junglers. But the fact that like Maokai went unpicked your band, like nobody's playing that top for heavy engage or playing it in the jungle, just means that these two teams are kind of electing for, we're playing carry junglers, but we're not playing like the same tank junglers as everybody else is. We're gonna play like the Cho'Gath here, which is a little bit common, but I would say that the Gragas and the Cho'Gath right now, not gonna emphasize like the carryability. I don't know exactly where I was going with that. I'm going to stop right there, cut myself off.
There's a dragon.
Yeah, there's a third Ocean Drake.
Third Ocean Drake. When you just have so much ocean, you need another, and that's the max amount you can get in one game. It's pretty salty.
Yeah, I mean, is there a special effect for the Ocean Drake when you have 3? Because I know when you have the Cloud Drake, you get that little trail behind you.
Sonic booms.
Yeah, I wish it was the old green Dead Man's Plate effect that used to be there. That was super good. But now I think it's just like a bunch of bubbles, right? You get like a bunch of bubbles every intermittently. Like,
sea bubbles.
Every now and then.
Every now and then.
Splash. It's when you're out of combat, so.
I see it on balls when he was roaming around. There it is as well. All right, Moon. Rubbing his hands together, getting ready for some more plays on the side of FlyQuest. And now they actually have quite a bit of time to hang out on the map. Their vision isn't pushed forward, so they're kind of relegated to just clear these waves, pick up their resources until they gather here. And what possibly would be the mid lane, they have all 3 turrets down, so either working on an objective or pushing straight down one of these lanes.
Well, EnVy want Baron control, so they're going to start going over towards that area because it's completely in FlyQuest's control. And you don't want that to be in the control of the Cho'Gath team and the Callista team. Want to make sure that you have your eyes on it. But looks like FlyQuest thinking they could pick pick Apollo using Turtle. But they're actually going to try to gain a numbers advantage here. Lemon's going to take a lot of headshots. Oh! They're going to try to get him low.
Interesting. Fate's Call. Because Fate's Call, you only put Ace in the Hole on cooldown. And now you have a full Fate's Call cooldown.
Well, yeah, the Ace in the Hole did not leave the gun completely. Right. So when it does that, then it will go on cooldown.
A little quick.
Did it a little bit earlier.
A little quick. Maybe use that again.
Tiny thing.
Tiny.
But now they're going to try to get Niski for a pick here.
Could be big after that. Turret's going to go down. Moon's on the other side. He says, yeah, I'm big, but we're still going to have to give that one up. A good pressure from Seraph as he rotates up towards mid to keep that pressure onto high so he cannot just farm it out. He's been trying to build up. He's doing a good job at it.
All right, what's Moon at now? Moon is at 10 Cho'Gath stacks.
What's that HP?
1,200.
4247.
Yeah, he has 1,200 bonus HP from Feast. That's an insane amount of HP. And the fact that when he hits level 16, it goes up even further. And he's out of stacks that he can get off of minions and monsters. So he has to go get dragons. He has to go get peoples, barons, nom them up. And his E now does 9% of the target's maximum HP as magic damage.
Well, good thing for EnVy. They're not the healthiest team, but that also is kind of a caveat.
Yeah, they aren't the most magic damage or magic resist heavy team either, considering top lane has 0. Jungle has the Spectre's Cowl now. Mid lane is the 0. Nobody really stacking any at all, which means that if he gets all those Vorpal spikes off, he's looking at that 27% of his enemy's HP. That's just above a 4th, Riv. Wow. Did the math. And then he does the true damage bite for, 700 plus.
2 Ardent sensors now on the map. Pretty good money flowing into the supports as well as the rest of the team from these early kills. Turrets being picked up nicely, helping to spike just a little bit.
Yeah, FlyQuest trying to get control of the Baron area. Try to control the control wards. I will shove down mid. Everybody else will shove up the top lane, and Seraph and Balls still just fighting in the bottom side. Gargoyle Stoneplate actually completed for Balls before he gets Titanic Hydra. It's actually, I like that build augmentation because normally you want Black Cleaver into Titanic Hydra, but he's saying I'm going to team fight soon, and that's what my team is focused on, so goes for the Gargoyle Stoneplate before the completion of that big damage item.
I'm going to say it looks like they wanted to stay down here for a moment, but the minion wave taking a bit too long. They're going to see Balls focusing on this topside turret. Teleports are up for both teams. And there are very good wards for EnVy to teleport. If they want to actually get to the back of this fight, there it is coming in from Seraph.
They don't see it either. That's
actually going to be able to get speed from the shrine, choose his target. What's it going to be? They're going for the blast cone. Not there, actually. And they're going to have to be fighting this one out. Niski over to Moon. That's not actually who he wanted to use the ultimate on. And now EnVy is getting routed in the fight. Good hits coming in from Turtle, but he gets bounced back now. Lemon Nation trying to keep his 80 carry alive. Turtle in a 2v1 situation with the help of the support. And he stays alive throughout the situation. The Ardent Sensor doing just enough. Apollo focused by High and Balls now. And that's going to be the kill. coming in for
That's
Fly
Baron.
High. That is definitely Baron for FlyQuest.
Yeah, Seraph actually TP'd back in the Baron pit, and then he wasn't spotted. That was completely by surprise. Elimination goes off to the side. Brilliantly played there from FlyQuest in terms of their allocation, but Niski looked like he couldn't figure out what to do in that fight because it was so split. Normally when you're split up like that against this team, you're in a good spot because nobody has like enough tanks to cover all their options. But watch Niski here and how High approaches him from the side, because High is going to get the better position in this fight because Moon going to go cover this area, noms Niski, and then High is just throwing in a whole bunch of pot shots, and then Wild Turtle puts pressure on Niski, and then High comes in from the side. So Niski got pinched in because he couldn't find where, as a backliner, is the back line, because he was flanked from both sides. And that is something you do not want to run into, especially when you have a Kalista that's flanking. You're just like, why is the Kalista the one that's flanking us? How is she able to do this? Why haven't we collapsed on her? And that was just an oddly played fight from Envy. But seriously, the damage there, like I was saying, High got the better position in that fight.
See how they continue to pressure now this Baron map. As we say, objective free, I lie, 0 seconds as the Mountain Drake spawns. And that would be even more perfect for FlyQuest to grab here. All the sustain and then the ability to take more of those turrets and structures. Looks like things calm down for the time being, but FlyQuest now basically lives on Envy's side of the map.
I'm getting excited, Riv, because I feel like Moon is about to hit critical mass where he would be able to Gargoyle Stoneplate, Feast, and one-shot Apollo or Niski. So I'm looking forward to the gameplay.
It's actually not a point that Moon got to with in their last FlyQuest match, and they kind of went away from the Cho'Gath after that first play. It wasn't really getting banned out either. So for these guys to go back, feel comfortable on that. Obviously, very strong as well. You can't just throw Cho'Gath to the wayside, especially when you get 30 minutes into the game. Nobody's pushing this guy around. Corky back towards mid, High, creating pressure at every point he can, every moment he can, and that is just spreading Envy thin. It's not, they don't even have to initiate on the side of FlyQuest. Envy is trying to figure out a way in themselves, and they just can't find one.
Yeah, their engage option is Body Slam Flash.
Right.
But maybe a cask, but Lyra hasn't really been on point. He's been 0-2-1 for pretty much the whole game here. And everybody else is just kind of floundering around. They're trying to catch up, but FlyQuest are doing the right thing and trying to force some fights. They have been caught in some awkward positions, but now their gold lead is doing the work for them. And now I feel like you go get that Mountain Drake, get another stack from Moon. Oh, maybe not.
Leave the team, he's gonna hop over the wall.
The reset.
Oh no, he'll do it himself anyways, just not over the wall.
Yeah, they're just resetting the map.
No, they are going to back. I was going to say they gave him 3 vision wards, 4th one towards red if they were able to break that line, but they run back. High will probably be able to get it before the team even reaches him. And then Moon will see the Elder Drake on the map. That will have to be stopped by Envy. 4 Drakes for Fly. It's going to be too strong.
Yeah, I feel like that back was kind of unnecessary. I feel like they should have gone for the Mountain Drake as a team very quickly and then gone back, because there isn't too much for them to clear.
Yeah, they don't
and
have
then
to
reset.
stop on the way back out.
Exactly. Like resetting, you want to always reset at a good time and get what you can on the way out. And I feel like the Cho'Gath stacks are worth so much now. No! Moon could have had another!
That's true.
I just like seeing stacks, man. Like,
Stacks on stacks.
dude, I love Jenga. If you ever have a Jenga party, invite me.
All right.
If I hear about it later, I'm going to be angry.
Side tangent, but I won't not invite you.
Wait, okay.
Gaia, double negative. 8K, just about 8.5 right now. And 8-3. 33 coming in. It's going to be a push here from the top side. Turtle is
gonna
oh
1v1.
My God, he's actually going to try to get in on this situation. Lyra,
This is a turtle
Lyra
play. He's got his team behind him. He's trying to flex
on this because they do see the rest of the team. Heals, shields, and everything under the sun. But a cupcake is what takes Turtle down from his sweet tooth. Gargoyle Stoneplate goes down, and they are able to chop down Moon. They're not unstoppable at this point, and Ball's trying to do what he can here on the bot side. FlyQuest has to start to be careful, as they might get caught on the way out.
You'd feel after 5+ years of a career that the turtle would eventually become tamed, but it's still as wild as ever.
It is.
And I'm actually at a loss for words, because I don't know what he's thinking, that he's not going to crit you as Caitlyn multiple times. Like, as a 1v1, Kalista versus Caitlyn, I still feel like the Kalista has to overperform and like outplay the Caitlyn very heavily to win it. And the fact that he had his support there on top of it made it even less likely to work. So I'm actually surprised because Turtle, I know he has his team, he had his team behind him, but his team was too far behind him for the amount of mobility that the Kalista has when he's in that forward position.
Also to consider, any headshots hitting you are taking away twice as much HP as you thought you'd be able to take the next few auto attacks with. So you really don't consider. You also don't know when that's coming up for Apollo. Would it be the first, or does he get 2 out of these situations?
Yeah.
We'll actually see here.
Oh, he gets movement speed away. He gets Eve. He gets rooted here. And then
Headshot.
pop. Oh, he goes back on it. And even then, he went back on Crap. And then he would have crit him afterwards and hit him with that.
Yep.
I know the Janna's behind him, but like, Janna passive lets you run backwards, not forwards. That actually just kind of took some of the wind out of the sails.
Really on this wind stuff today. Wind and ocean.
Oceans, winds.
It's a beautiful day here at the studio.
I got a song stuck in my head now.
I don't know that song.
It's a beautiful day.
Oh, right now.
Yeah, of course,
I get it.
of course.
I thought you meant ocean winds.
No.
Oh, wow.
But Baron up in 58 seconds. Fly still have control of the game, but they don't have the same tempo or momentum. They do have the mid lane control and the push. But, yeah, I feel like FlyQuest are still in a great position now because when we talk about scaling, like the Cho'Gath kind of infinitely scales with his stacks. The Kalista actually does scale a bit in terms of she's harder to kill. You need enough burst damage to kill her. But I do feel like Envy, better scaling, a little bit behind, but still I would say better scaling in terms of the Syndra. The Corki is crazy though. Corki, you know what? I'm evaluating this as I go. Corki with an Ardent Sensor. This is actually getting pretty ridiculous for FlyQuest.
I like it. But he also isn't near that Ardent Sensor all the time, so he's got to be careful. Seeing 3 in mid. Beautiful job here by Fly, actually controlling the jungle. Envy doesn't have a quick path from lane to lane. They got to go all the way around town. And right now, they're just going to stay in the jungle.
Yeah, 5 seconds on that Baron. They have the Kalista. They have the Cho'Gath. They have a Mountain Drake. They're already starting it. They're trying to get high in return for it. It's going to be hard to catch him.
He just took everything.
There. Oh, Moon trying to get to the back line. Watch out for the dinosaur.
He's on every line. He is on the front and the back. Seraph taking quite a bit of damage. Niski now in the middle of the fight. He is back to back with balls, and he goes down. Both of them actually fall at the same time. Moon's able to get one of those chomps down, and now they're on to Lyra. Right into the face of Moon. Tries to flop back to give Apollo more space to work, and his desk is set up. Does he get the kill, though? Signs off on one. No, he doesn't get the shot. Balls breaks vision, and the quadra kill coming in for high on Corki.
Yeah, they just get to play the team fight out the way they want, and that is most likely going to be game here for FlyQuest.
Right through. I don't even know if they need minions. They have Moon. That'll just, the minions will help the turrets, which probably will be necessary, but 20 seconds, I should say, are the fastest spawns here with Niski and Hakuo, and that's not going to be enough damage. It's too much single target. They're going for the Nexus turrets, and FlyQuest getting very big on this one. 13-5 with a 9,000 gold lead start of the Nexus, and they will drop it 37 minutes in, taking game 1.
Feel like that's a FlyQuest win that FlyQuest fans are known for. It's just like, all right, this is the type of win that you're looking at. High 7-1-2, kind of controlled a lot of the game in the early parts, was able to reinforce his team, and the moves, the early skirmishes that sometimes don't work out for the team, worked out for him this time. You had that, it was kind of a classic FlyQuest game, right? High, able to affect some of the side lanes, able to affect, and then you get Wild Turtle having one move where it's like, what's going on? And then you have to start getting worried, but FlyQuest ultimately pull it out because they have a pretty good lead across the board through pretty much all the lanes, and I think the Envy slump right now might be starting. Like, I mean, looking at Lyra specifically, where he hasn't performed pretty well against Team Liquid. Now he's playing against another team in the bottom end of the standings. And right there, that game was definitely not one of those games that you would be like, how relevant was Lyra in it, and give him anything above, like, you know, a C or anything like that.
And you wondered,
that was pretty low in terms of his proximity.
Right, and you wonder kind of why that is. Like, top was being pushed in. Here we saw a great job by Seraph on the Renekton, so why wasn't that pressure going mid? Lyra actually didn't have to do too much on the top side of the map where he usually focuses to get people going.
Well, Balls avoided some ganks early, right?
Yeah, did a very great job. We're actually going to start in with this one at the end game replay of all things.
Yeah.
And how this one started off.
Yeah, High gets out of here with the cleanse, and then he's able to flash away and not take too much damage afterward, and then Moon just is so tanky, and they don't have too much to shred him just yet.
Yeah.
Seraph goes in, tries to stun High and get out, and then Niski went far forward, and now Niski is caught in the Cataclysm. The only person in there tries to peel, but High walks up. First kill goes over to Moon, but then the dive in from Seraph to try and get something back. He dies to High. High's going to pick up a kill there. And now the Corki I talked about with that crazy scaling, pretty much 3 hits or 2 hits, Hakuho, and he just does so much damage if he gets that magic damage crit in there. And there's that quadra kill coming through for High.
Gotta feel good. And I'm sure it feels good for High as well, because whenever those kills are rolling in for him, his calls are much cleaner. He's doing that micromanaging. Here. Yes, we can. Keep going. We can fight this. And the team follows up on that so much. It gives them so much confidence.
Yeah, when High gets behind, you know, sometimes he gets a little bit less vocal because he doesn't have as good of a grasp on the game. And then he requires his teammates to give him a better feel for, can we win this? Can we not win this? And when he's ahead in the game is a pretty big snowball for FlyQuest.
And we see the team comp here, FlyQuest, I believe, setting themselves up for a little bit of flex next game. We know Moon being one of the few junglers to still take that Jarvan into the jungle without them playing Maokai. Maybe they kind of trick what Envy would think is going top or jungle to start things off. It's just a little something. It's that chess game of pick and bans.
Yeah, I was like, is Moon going to play it? Because they swapped it actually at the last second there, where is Moon going to play the jungle Jarvan, which is still in the meta a bit, and you can play it with the Cinder Hulk, but they flex it up to the top. They've last picked it there. The Renekton has to play against it, and he, you know, it really didn't do too well in the early game, but Balls held on, and the Cho'Gath plus the Corki kind of made the winning combo there, alongside the Janna. I think like Janna is coming back into the meta now because of the fact that when you dive, you only have so many dive tools, and the Janna ulti makes it so like if you're a champion that has only one dive tool with a longer cooldown, then you pretty much get no part of the fight afterwards.
And we actually, looking at what this Cho'Gath provided for the team in the game, we have some clips of Moon continuously hitting in these fights, but also choosing the right targets, getting the silences, and this one's obviously, hey, we're taking out Hakuho. But besides this, he started stacking up.
Yeah, that was a CC chain onto Hakuho. It's what you're looking for there. And then Moon, the Nom there, I believe that was onto Lyra to deal that extra bit of damage. The Cataclysm gets canceled afterwards because Balls wants them to run out. And then the call that Lyra no longer has his body slam and he's caught on the minions. They're able to chase him down. That's the slow from the Vorpal spikes. 1.5 second decaying slow. Get 3 of them. It's pretty powerful if the Cho'Gath makes it to you. That's why people run movement speed quints.
Also with Niski on that Syndra in the mid lane, got to be feeling pretty good. Well, he kind of went back and forth with High. He was able to hold strong, and they got going early with some roams.
I feel like Niski is kind of back and forth right now. He's playing well, but when the team starts kind of floundering around him and they have those the momentum taken out of their sails, they end up having kind of a bad mid game. And I feel like it's not always the draft. I feel like it's not always the individual play. I feel like a lot of the times it's those macro calls. And Niski has been a good individual player. Even when he's playing against Golden Glue, he did well. But it's not like we're seeing Niski be a big failure point on the team. But this right here was the team fight that this is so hard to navigate. Where do you go as a backliner? Because while Turtle played so aggressive to put pressure on Niski, and he was playing away from the right side of the fight, only to kind of be in a Callista range, and then he had already like made himself super vulnerable to all angles of this fight.
It did become super. He's like trying to scatter one way, but look the other way to place another orb and pick this one up.
It's a hard spot.
Too much and too little time. You see the post-game breakdown, just under 37 minutes. But again, there's that Envy early game. They hold on to it, and they can be doing so much better throughout the mid. It just seems like it's something where the other team has that minion position at 22-minute fight, and it's either the Baron and turrets or turret after turret that allows the other team to just kind of swamp over Envy at that point.
Yeah, and it was a really kind of confusing game because Envy did have that early game lead off of, like I was talking about, their winning lanes, their top and their bottom and their mid. But I feel like Lyra didn't get his team enough off the ground. Like a 2.4K gold lead against the team composition of FlyQuest, which has engaged tools with the Jarvan. They have disengaged tools with the Janna. They have another engaged tool with the Callista. Like they can start fights when they're ahead, or if you're not far enough ahead to win those fights. So the 2.4K gold advantage really isn't enough to leverage, and you have to get Niski to a point where I feel like he could blow somebody up without having to worry too much about the Janna or worrying too much about, you know, the invulnerability.
That's the thing. It's tough to see the Syndra. You hope to blow somebody up, and those people are walking away with 100 HP each time. You get a bit ahead and get that Hex Drinker, makes a very tough time for her. So we'll see if Team Envy can even up the score when we come back with Game 2 against FlyQuest. As we go to commercial, here's a